welcome back to another week of Open Mic Night. I am so glad you guys made it back. If this is your first time watching, welcome to the show. This is a show that I started just, a few weeks ago. Actually, now it's probably more than a month ago, believe it or not. It's a show where I give you guys some tech news, talk about what's been happening in the tech world. I give you guys some picks of the week. Those are things that I like, things that I use in my daily life that I think you guys will like too. And I also give you guys a tip of the week, something that might help you out with your technology, something that might make things easier for you or something like that. Hopefully, that is the idea. This show is a YouTube video as well as a podcast. You can always go on and just listen to the audio if you prefer that. Both ways are great. I love people that do both. I have a lot of podcast listeners, but I also have a lot of people that just watch it on YouTube. So this week, like I said last week, is a little bit different. I recorded this week just a little bit ago, actually. If you guys are watching this maybe at 7 or something like that, like my normal live show used to be, I recorded it just a few hours earlier. No big deal. Just wanted to be able to put in some new effects, maybe show you guys actually what I'm doing on my phone. I'm giving you a tip of the week, or maybe show you guys a website or two. So that is why I changed the format. But enough of that. Welcome to the show. WeagerTech.com is the website that you can go to find all my shows. This is just one of my 2 podcasts I do, plus a lot of YouTube tutorials and other videos like that. But let's jump right into the news. This week's news. All right, this week in news, it was actually a big week for Microsoft. Microsoft has a new CEO, Satya Nadella. Satya Nadella has been with the company for 22 years. He was previously in charge of cloud, and he replaces Steve Ballmer. Now, Steve Ballmer back in August announced he was going to step down. They are just now getting a new CEO. And not only are they getting a new CEO, Bill Gates has also stepped down as chairman of the board. He wanted, I think, more of a role that fit him more with Microsoft. He wanted to get back into the day-to-day stuff, the things that made Microsoft good in the past. And so with this new CEO, people are saying, what's he going to be like? Is he going to kind of revamp Microsoft? What's he going to do? People are saying that know him, he's a lot like... and if I said Steve Jobs, I meant Bill Gates. I meant Bill Gates. Hopefully I said Bill Gates and not Steve Jobs. That shows you how much of an Apple fanboy I am if I said Steve Jobs. And if I didn't, I just thought of it. Bill Gates is who I was talking about. Bill Gates, he said Satya Nadella is a lot like Bill Gates. His whole mentality, the way he did things, the way he runs things is a lot like Bill Gates. And that's what Microsoft wants to do. They want to get back to kind of to that day where when Bill Gates was running the company, they were succeeding. They were doing a little more innovation. They obviously do want to focus on business enterprise software because that is what they are known to be good at. But yeah, he's going to bring a whole new kind of life to Microsoft. People are saying maybe he's not the extroverted type that's going to give Microsoft maybe that name out in public and with PR and stuff like that. Maybe he's not the best guy for that, but I think he'll be a great CEO. I think he'll maybe turn Microsoft around from the way they're trending right now and maybe actually get them into the, even though they do focus on corporate enterprise type stuff, I do see with like Windows Phone, Windows 8, they're trying to get into the consumer market a little more than they were. I know it's not their bread and butter, but I think maybe Satya Nadella will help them with that. Being in charge of cloud being both enterprise and a consumer product, but something that he can bring that sort of knowledge into Microsoft. I just think it'll be a great thing for them. I think that, first of all, I think having a CEO in general, they've been without a CEO for a while now. It's about time they get this thing taken care of. And so it's good to see them now with the leadership. People in Microsoft were saying they didn't really know what direction to go without having a CEO. They're kind of in limbo there for a while. Now they can, put the nose to the grindstone and start getting back at it. So that is probably the biggest news of the week. Microsoft's new CEO, kind of a big deal, one of the biggest companies. The next one's a little more lighthearted. For those of you who fell into the trap these past few weeks of getting Flappy Bird. Flappy Bird is an app for the iPhone and Android, and it's a very, very simple app. You simply tap the screen. If you guys haven't played it, you're just tapping the screen to make a little bird go up and down. You're trying to fly through some pipes that are up and down that surprisingly look a lot like the Mario green pipes that you saw back in the day when you guys played Mario. But the big news, I guess, with this, and who knows if it's a publicity stunt or a PR stunt or whatever, but the creator, the developer of Flappy Bird has actually taken it off the market. He has taken it off the iOS store and the Android store, and in certain tweets, he said he just can't take it anymore. He just can't take it. He was getting a ton of flack from the community, actually from probably the entire world, about just a lot of different aspects of the game, how bad it was, or how those towers did look a lot like Mario, that he stole that art from it. He was basically getting criticism from all over, and he said he can't take it anymore. He's taken it off the store, And the funny part about it, though, is he submitted this app back in May. Around December time, there started to become a lot more reviews. Like a lot more reviews are showing up in the App Store, getting it a little popular. Obviously, in the App Store, the more reviews you have, the more stars you have, you're gonna get shown higher, maybe in the featured page, stuff like that. And so he started to have those. People are starting to speculate maybe he was buying reviews because it was just all of a sudden. This game hadn't done anything from May to November, and then all of a sudden it takes off, it explodes. And so people were kind of wondering what happened there. Anyway, he starts to get popular in December. Gets to a point where in the past few weeks, he's making $50,000 a day on ad revenue. Now, Flappy Bird was a free app, but if you guys have played it, there's an ad banner on the very top. And apparently, just because of how popular this game got, it was making $50,000 a day. And then all of a sudden, the developer just says, nope, not doing it, taking it off the store. And for those of you who don't know much about, how the App Store thing works, if you have an app on there that doesn't need to be updated, if it just runs fine and it works good enough, you don't have to do anything. This is not like it's causing a lot of upkeep for this guy. This guy's not having to do much to keep this up there. So people are wondering what the reason is that this guy would take it down. Now, some people have put it towards maybe his developer mentality. Sometimes developers can be known to have maybe more of an introverted personality. Sometimes they can't take criticism very well. Now, obviously, it's a stereotype. I'm not saying that about if you're a developer. I'm not saying you're like that. But some people are saying, hey, maybe he's a really sensitive guy. Some of these developers can't take the criticism of the community when they have an app out there, especially if he's a solo developer, which it seems that he was. But a lot of other people are saying maybe it's a PR stunt. He's going to take it down and then in 6 months come out with Flappy Bird 2 and it's going to, make him another, millions of dollars. Because if he's had this on the market, for a while and he's been making 50 grand a day for, let's even say, the past few weeks, he's got a lot of money in the bank. I think he's doing all right. He could probably quit right now and then start this all over again in the future. But I just thought it was interesting. The whole story intrigues me. And maybe he was in legal trouble. In his tweet, he said he was not in legal trouble, but maybe, Nintendo did come after him for the fact that his little pipes that came down there flying the bird between, maybe that was a complete ripoff of Mario. Or maybe some other art. I don't know. A lot of this stuff is not known yet. People don't really know the details, but I just think it's an interesting story nonetheless, and I'm sure we'll hear more about it in the future, but maybe we won't. It was just a small developer that made this app that went viral, so it's not like he works for a big company. It's not like we're going to have a press release about this later. So who knows? But I just thought that was an interesting story, something you guys would find intriguing. And I'm sure you guys, if you haven't played the app, maybe at least heard of a friend talk about it. I know just at office places and schools, this game was just taken off like wildfire with almost every student or person around you. If you have it, they have it. And it was a really hard game, by the way. My high score was like 13, which is, you made it through 13 little spots. But yeah, very hard app. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting. Thought I should tell you guys about it and let you make your own conclusions on what you think it was. If you guys have any ideas, I'd love to hear them. Tweet at me or email me, all that sort of stuff. The stuff's right here, the little info. Here's my email and here's my Twitter. But yeah, tweet at me. Let me know what you think. Or maybe you guys heard another news story about this that I haven't read. Let me know what happened. But that is actually it for the news. Today's show, we're going to focus a lot on some other stuff today. But that's actually it for the news. And so it is time for...
It's the picks of the week, baby.
That's right, it's time for Picks of the Week, the part of the show where I pick things that I like and I think you guys would like too. So why not? Give them a shot, see if you like them. I do. The first thing I want to talk about today is a game called Threes. Now, Threes is a game for the iPhone, and according to me, I think it is the best game I have seen on the iPhone in a very, very long time. It's a simple game, something you guys can pick up, something even that, your kids can pick up. Or, your friend, all ages. It's an all ages game. It's one of those games that when you go to grandma's house and grandma maybe has an iPad or grandma maybe is borrowing your phone, you can say, Grandma, play this game. And then all of a sudden you and grandma will be sitting there for, half an hour playing Threes together, if not longer. It's just one of those games. It's family friendly. It's fun and it involves numbers. But hey, why don't I show you actually what the app is? So the app is, like I said, it's a game. And just like the title says, you're making groups of three. Or, 3, 6, 12, those sort of numbers, anything that relates to 3. But basically, when you're playing the game, you are swiping the box. Like, I'll just show you guys here. I'll just play one. And so, you're swiping up and down. You're making groups of 3. And then when you have, pairs, you can pair those up. And I don't even know how to describe it. It's just a very simple puzzle game, and it involves a lot of strategy. You're just trying to pair these up. You're trying not to fill the board up, because once the board fills up and you're out of moves, then you're done. Kind of like a Tetris sort of thing. In Tetris when the things were coming down. So what the board gives you is sometimes how you're going to do. But it's a strategy game, just making groups of 3. Like I said, probably a kindergartner could maybe even beat some of us old people at this game, because it's just that fun, that simple. It's $2 in the App Store, and I think it's definitely worth it. If you got an extra $2 lying around, go grab Threes and let me know what you think. And it's one of those games, it's not multiplayer. You don't have to worry about that. No internet connection, which is rare these days, but fun. It's a game that you'll find yourself playing when you're waiting for anything. If you're waiting in line, if you are, or if you're on the airplane or something like that, you're on the bus. I don't know. You'll just find yourself playing this game all the time. It is that addicting. And I just got today, and I've played it more than I would like to admit today. So go out and grab Threes, and that is $2 in the Mac App Store. And if you guys are looking for it, the logo is kind of a little blue, white, and pink little flag with a 3 on it. Basically what it is. So if you found that, you have found the right app.
He likes it. Hey, Mikey.
I do. Okay, now this is the part of the show I want to focus on today. The part of the show I want to focus on today I guess since we talked about Satya Nadella being the person of cloud, he was in charge of cloud before, it got me thinking about my cloud and the way I use my cloud, I guess, and things that I think you guys should know and things you guys should do in your everyday life. So the first product I'm going to talk about, you guys, I guarantee have heard about it. Even if you don't know what it is, I'm sure you've heard about it. It's called Dropbox. Now, Dropbox, as you guys know, a great place to have all your files kind of stored. Your files, when you have Dropbox, are stored on your local device, like let's say your computer. And then with Dropbox, it syncs those files to the cloud. And those files in the cloud are always updated. So if I open a Word document that I have saved in my Dropbox and I work on it and I hit save, it automatically sends that update to the cloud. And then let's say I go over to my other laptop or my phone or my iPad and I open it up and I load Dropbox. All those files are in sync. It loads the last save that you made, and you can work on them there. And basically what I use this for is I have so many different devices. I have my iMac, my desktop, I have my laptop, my iPhone, my iPad, and I want to be able to have my files wherever I am. A lot of times I'm taking notes for school, and I'll take my laptop to school, and I'll type them up there, hit save, and my laptop will stay in my backpack, and then I'll go over to my iMac when I get home, and lo and behold, when I get home, my notes are all there because of Dropbox. Super easy to use, super easy to set up. I actually have a video on YouTube if you guys want to go check it out on the just how to set it up and stuff. It's a little bit dated. It's actually a few years old on Dropbox, but the general gist of what Dropbox is, you can see it on there and see maybe how to even install it and get it working for you. And if you guys have any questions on how to get Dropbox working, then just send me an email and I'll gladly help you out, or tweet me if you're having something a little problem, if it can fit in 140 characters. If it's something I can help you out there, let me know. But Dropbox, and the reason I suggest it is for 2 reasons. One is you'll be able to access your files anywhere, and that's important. You want to be able to access those notes, those important, those tax documents, those whatever, and you want to be able to get them on your phone when you're out and about. You want to be able to get them on whatever computer you want, and that's what this does. It's secure. You don't have to worry about security issues and stuff like that. It's a good place to store just whatever files you need to. Also a great way to share large files. If you have, let's say, a large video file, maybe up to, let's say, a gig, and you can't just send that in an email, so you put it in your Dropbox, and Dropbox has all the capabilities to just share that link with someone. It'll send them a link in their email. They'll click on the link and be able to download that file. So it makes sharing easy. But the second main reason I wanted to tell you guys about it is because of data security. It's a backup, pretty much. I know that's not what they call it, and maybe that's not how they advertise it, but for me, that is one of my ways that I back up my files is with Dropbox. So if for some reason my laptop crashes, well, as long as I had those files in the Dropbox, then they are in the cloud. They're somewhere else, let alone my other computers synced them and probably downloaded them themselves. But it's a great way to back up your software. It's a cheap way. I use the free version of Dropbox. That gives you up to 2 gigs, and then you can keep adding more space by doing random things that they tell you if you invite a friend, if you connect your Facebook account, all that sort of stuff. But overall, so number 1, you have your files anywhere. Number 2, it's a great way to back up your files. And if you guys don't back up your files, we need to get you in that mentality to always be backing up your files. And if you guys need more suggestions on how to do that, let me know, and I can help you and say, here's the best way to back up your files. That leads me, about Dropbox.
He likes it. Hey, Mikey.
I more than like Dropbox. I love Dropbox. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about, you guys, speaking of backup, is my way that I back up my files to another cloud. Speaking of cloud, Carbonite.com. Carbonite.com is a great way to back up every single file on your computer. Great thing about Carbonite compared to a Dropbox, Carbonite is not really meant to be a service where it syncs your devices, it syncs all your files. It doesn't do that. What Carbonite does is I have a Carbonite subscription for my iMac. I pay, I think, like $60 a year. And what it does is it takes every single file on my hard drive, doesn't matter what it is. There's no limit restrictions. It is as many files as you can put on. So I have a terabyte hard drive. So technically my backup can contain a terabyte of space. And it does it automatically. But the best thing about Carbonite is I don't have to worry about it. The thing just runs consistently. If I'm changing files, it's automatically making those updates. So my backup is always up to date. The problem with most people, the way they back up, is I have a portable hard drive, and I just drag my files over there every once in a while. Well, every once in a while sometimes isn't good enough. Sometimes you made a file yesterday and then your computer crashes today, which is actually the way most of the time it happens. I'm working on a term paper for college and my laptop crashes. What do? Well, with Carbonite, that was backed up, I guarantee it, because it just automatically does those backups whenever a file is changed. So it works great. And for $60 a year for unlimited storage, I think it's amazing. It's just peace of mind, if anything. And the thing I want to talk to you guys about backup is that you need really 3 forms of backup. You need a backup on your computer, so 2 copies of the file, something like that. You also need a local backup. So let's say you have a portable hard drive, throw it on the portable hard drive. Maybe use something like Time Machine. On a Mac, that's what I use. I have a extra terabyte hard drive plugged into my Mac, and I run Time Machine on it. So my Mac is always backed up onto another hard drive, meaning that if my hard drive on my iMac crashes, I had it on that external hard drive. And third, you need a backup in the cloud. You need something that's not on site. If your house catches on fire, if something happens, if you have a flood, if you live in an apartment and your sprinklers go off and it totally trashes all your electronics, even your backup that you had with you is no good because it got trashed too. So you need something in the cloud, and that's why I suggest Carbonite. Carbonite's great. This isn't a paid ad or anything like that. This is just how much I love their product and how much I believe in it. You can also access those files online if you ever needed to. Kind of like Dropbox, not as intuitive, but if you're really in a pinch maybe and you are not on your computer, you can log into your Carbonite account online and go view the files. It's also extremely secure. They haven't had really any security issues at all that I know of, and you can trust them with your important files as well as your non-important files. So if you have your tax information on there, if you have bank stuff, you can trust that is okay to be in the Carbonite cloud. Love it. Love Carbonite.
He likes it. Hey, Mikey.
So that is it for the picks of the week. Those are my 3 things. We talked about threes, we talked about Dropbox, and we talked about Carbonite. So now we are on to the last segment of the show. It's the tip of the week. Now, the tip of the week this week is how to view a website on your iPad or iPhone and then instantly go and look at it on your computer. So for me, I'm sitting on my couch. I see a link on Twitter, and it's an article. And I click on it, and I open it in Safari on my iPad, and I think, man, this is really long actually to read on my iPad. I might want to go, or maybe there's a lot of graphics. I want to see this on my computer. Well, I don't know if you guys know, but iCloud has a way to view those tabs without even going and typing in the URL again or anything like that. So if you have let's say I have a website open on my iPhone over here. Let's just say I have, I don't know. Let's just say I have apple.com open on my iPhone. Got apple.com open here. So what we're going to do is you can go over to your Mac, and if you open Safari, it has to be Safari. I know for some of you who use Chrome or Firefox, that may not work for you, but open up Safari anyway. Safari is actually a lot better than it used to be. If you're not a believer in Safari, I'd give it a try again. And in Safari, there is a little tab, and it looks like a little cloud. It's called, it's used by iCloud, so it's a little cloud. It's right by your back and forward buttons, and if you just click it, it says iCloud tabs, and it will show you all the tabs you have open on all your devices. Now, this does mean that you do have to use the same iCloud account for all your devices. So if the iCloud device you are signed in on your phone, your iPad, and your computer will all have to be the same. But if they are, you will just see all the open tabs. It's as easy as that, and you can just click on one, and you're viewing that page. And so that's something I just wanted to show you guys. It's something that I find myself doing a lot that I thought, hey, maybe other people don't know about this feature or don't know how to use it. But that is iCloud tabs. Extremely easy. Open it on the iPad, go click on that cloud feature, and it'll just show you all the windows you have open. But be careful, it can also get you in trouble. Don't be looking at anything that you don't want your friends or anyone else to see, because it does show every single window that's open there. So I'm not implying anything. I'm just saying that just know that if you are signed into iCloud, that you are broadcasting pretty much what pages you are looking for to other computers in the house. Or, maybe parents, maybe use that as a little feature to keep an eye out on the kids. Anyway, so that is the show. I hope you guys liked it. We covered a lot today. We covered some news, some picks, some tips, and it was just an overall great show. If you guys are listening to the podcast, I'm sorry you guys weren't able to see some of the stuff I was talking about, especially threes. And I know I probably didn't describe it that well for the audio podcast, but you can always go check this out on YouTube, WeagerTech.com. I have all my videos there. If you go to Open Mic Night, they'll all be listed right there. You can also, if you're watching on YouTube, you can go listen to the audio podcast. That is also, it's on iTunes now. If you go search Open Mic Night, it is also on my website. All the links are everywhere. Just go to WeagerTech.com and it's got all the info. It's also got one of the other podcasts I do. Go check it out. If I can ask one thing of you guys, I would love if all of you who watch this show could go tell maybe one person about it. Pick someone that you think likes techie stuff, someone like yourself. If you're watching this show, find someone that you think would like to watch this show as well. Shows like this really take off from the consumers telling their friends, telling people how great it is. And I hope you guys enjoy the show. I hope you guys get something out of it. I hope you guys maybe even watch some of my other tutorials, and maybe that's what brought you to this show. Anyway, if I could ask just one thing, just go out and tell a friend maybe this week before next week's show, and we'll just see how many more viewers or how many more subscribers we can get. I already have a great turnout, and I love it, and I want to thank every single one of you for watching and even writing in questions and stuff like that. It really helps me out and keeps me going, and I love doing the show for you guys. So yeah, do that for me, or don't. You don't really have to if you don't want to. Anyway, email me, mike@weagertech.com. Tweet at me @mweager, and go to weagertech.com. I will see you guys next week, but until then, tech on.